Hey everyone, welcome to Spice of Life Kitchen. I'll be your host today, Dogmatic. So what we're going to do is we're going to smoke a pork butt to make some pulled pork. So first you want to do is obviously get whatever size pork butt you want. This one here is only for 3 people, so it doesn't need to be too big. Pork butt isn't very difficult to do. The main thing is low and slow. You want to cook it low and you want to take its time so it breaks down, right? Breaks down that collagen that's in it. You don't want to remove the fat. So what you do is just take a knife, and this has a string on it, so try not to cut the string, and just cut the fat just to kind of open it up to let everything to get inside, break it down faster and easier. My smoker, will be using a Bradley's digital smoker, so it's kind of like a bar fridge or a wine cooler, and that smoke stays in there really good. So this thing will get surrounded by smoke on all sides for the whole time that I throw the wood pucks in, right? I like to put a rub on there. If yours doesn't, you would rather get more of the smoke flavor, and without the rub, you can just use salt and pepper, and that'll still be great as well. So I do have a rub that I use for most of my stuff that I smoke, and it's kind of looks got. I'll give you kind of a hint of most of the ingredients I do. I do have a kind of a special one that I kind of keep for myself, but just for one batch, and that one batch for the size of this pulled pork or pork butt, it will cover the whole thing. So you're going to use 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon chipotle. Now the chipotle you can leave in or take out, depends on how spicy you want it. 1 tablespoon actually will give you quite a bit of heat. So if you want a little bit of heat and not a lot of heat, do maybe half tablespoon or even a teaspoon or whatever of chipotle. I like to have a little bit. Kahlua doesn't like to have a lot of spice in it, so it kind of depends on who we're making it for. So 3 tablespoons brown sugar, 1 tablespoon chipotle, 2 tablespoons paprika, 2 tablespoons salt, 1 tablespoon of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of onion powder. So I like to put it in a little shaker here. Now first what do, kind of take off some of the moisture here. Because this was in the freezer, right? So we got it when it was on sale. We bought a few of them and we threw the rest in the freezer. And so when it thaws out, kind of damp or whatever you want to call it. So then, see, I like to use one of the old shakers. I guess I could get a little logo on here if I wanted to. So once you get all it on there, I'm going to let it put it in a bag. I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, and then I'll put it in the fridge overnight, just so these spices kind of marinate itself right into it. So just marinate like a marinade, right? But it doesn't have to be a wet marinade. So the dry rub will just absorb into the meat a little bit, and then in the morning we'll come back. We'll put this on because we're gonna have to do it for at 250 degrees for quite a few hours. Now this isn't a huge pork butt, but if you get a big pork butt, that's a 4 or 5 pounder, you're talking 8 to 12 hours to get it up to temperature, right? So this one here should be only like 6-7 hours for the size of it. So what we'll do is I'm going to put this back in a little Ziploc bag, throw it in the fridge, and then we'll come back in the morning when we're prepping the smoker. All right, so now it's morning, and we let the roast or the pork butt sit overnight in the dry rub. Now, as you can see, it's kind of blended in there now. It looks almost like a marinade now. It's all watery and stuff, and that's fine. So we got the smoker preheating. Takes a little bit to get up to 250. It's actually a nice day out. It's about 0 Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit right now outside, but the sun's out and shining, the birds are singing, so great day to smoke. So what we're gonna use is I'm gonna use cherry wood here today. I like to add a little bit of the fruity of the cherry in there. So if you haven't seen them, this is what the puck looks like. So that's all it is. So like compressed wood chips. And what we do is in my smoker, it's electric. So every 20 minutes it pushes a puck on a little heating, almost like a heating pad. So, and it heats up this and creates the smoke. And then after 20 minutes, it pushes the next one, almost like a conveyor belt, onto that heating pad and pushes that old puck into a bowl of water. So you don't have to worry about if you get worried about any fires starting. So the cool thing about that is where the pucks heat up, it's its own heating element. So if you watched, I have a video that's a couple years ago from my Dogmatic DIY channel where I smoked some cheese. Perfect day. Well, today's a little warmer, but perfect to smoke cheese. You can just wait for a cold day. You don't need the actual smoker heat to be on. You just need where the wood chips go in to be on. And then you put a bowl, instead of a bowl of water, you put a bowl of ice, and it'll just keep it cool inside the smoker. So you still get all the smoke, but you don't get the heat. It won't melt the cheese. So that's, I guess, the advantage of having a separate heating element than a temperature controlled oven kind of thing. So once we get to 250 on the smoker, we'll take this outside and get her in there, and then we can start going. Okay. Right. So I think we're about ready to put the pork butt in. See, here's my smoker. Since it's electric, they want you to keep it in out of the elements, so I kind of built myself a little enclosure, put a little kind of styrofoam insulation in here. So it's almost 250 now. I don't know if you can see that temperature there. See right there. It's at 237 because I just opened it, right? But we're gonna get this on, it's close enough. And then we're not gonna touch it for a few hours, right? Okay, so it's been like 3 hours, so let's just check this. The smoke is just about ending, so it's okay. What we want to do is we want to make sure that the temperature is at least 170 degrees Fahrenheit in the meat, and then we'll wrap it at 170. If it's not 170, we'll just shut it again and let it cook some more. So let's see what we got here. So we still got quite a bit to go here. I'm only at about 136, so we'll close this up. Probably another couple hours. I didn't expect it to be ready at 3. Usually just check it. Now, after 3 hours, if you want, maybe bend down so you can see. If you want, what you can do, sorry, the sun's right in my eyes, so let me go on this side, is you could spritz it. Now, I wait and I don't spritz it, but some people do. You can use apple cider vinegar, apple juice, whatever you want to spritz it. So after the 3 hours, so like maybe once every hour you spritz it. Try to get the meat, not the fat. But what I'll do is I'll just let it sit and cook until it hits the 170, and then once I wrap it, I'm gonna wrap it in double layer tin foil. Then I put a little apple juice inside the tin foil, and it'll absorb into the meat there. So let's come back in a little bit when hopefully this is at 170. Okay, so it's a little bit over 170 degrees now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap this in tin foil here and put a little bit of apple juice in there. A nice color to it. You can see when you squish the fat, still got a little bit of sponginess to it, but once it's fully cooked, it won't. It'll be more mushy. Smells great. I try to cup it a little bit to tin foil so that it holds in the apple juice so it doesn't leak over. You don't need to put too much in there, just enough that the flavors get into the meat. All right, so now we're gonna put it back on the smoker until it hits about 200 degrees. And then once we take that off, we wanna let it sit for an hour, right? We don't wanna start pulling it apart or else it'll dry out too quickly. So let me get it back on the smoker and then we'll come back and check on it in a little bit. Okay, so now pulled pork has been pulled off the smoker and it's been sitting and resting. I'm gonna try to rest it for an hour. Let's see how it comes apart here. Oh, I did have some string on here, I remember. There it is. So you can see how it just comes apart so easy. It's just with the nice and easy away from the, get a close up here. Still a little warm, but see how it just pulls apart. You have that bark on the outside from the smoke. It's so juicy. So you're watching me pull it apart. I'm gonna let you get to your own pulled pork. So if you've got any questions, even in the comment section below, we'd love to hear from you. Click that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell to be notified when we post another video. We'll talk to you later.